Hello, welcome. What you're about to see is not for the faint-hearted. What you're about to see is what I like to call the scary doors. Good luck. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Eats on here and watch the 10th episode of the Twilight Zone. Jesus, it's a bit dark, isn't it? There I am! It's a bit light. This time we had 3 stories again, and I haven't much to say actually about the Twilight Zone, so let's just start with the episode, shall we? We see a school. Well, not really a school, but apparently it is a school. Well, yeah, I think it is a school. Or maybe a library. I have no clue. Let's say it's a library. We're in we see a library and the camera goes up to the second story, to a window. And inside we see a kid, tapping with his pencil. And then suddenly he says, I have it! Or I got it! Or I know it! I got it. And the kid next to him said, shh! Shushes him. And our first kid, Danny, starts to talk to, the other boy, about something, maybe something with a girl. I don't know. So, they talk a bit, and the next thing that we see, it's dark outside. And we see Danny walk in the street. Why the fuck is he outside at night? Come on. He's 13, so depends on how late it is, But no, I think if it's 10, you should already be inside, and maybe even in bed. Who knows? Yeah, I think that's right. But we see Danny Walker in the street, and suddenly a kid pops his head out of the bushes, behind the bushes, and then he's saying something to the girl that Danny was talking about earlier. Sorry. No, he has a kind of a plan, and she says, I actually don't want to do this. And he says, yeah, you have to do it because he likes you. Okay. So we're back to Danny house, walking, and the other boy is now, shaking the bush a bit, so that it's kind of is rustling, and then the girl comes, not really out of the bushes, but she comes basically from around the corner. There's no building, but it's basically the corner from the bushes, So she comes around the corner, and he says her name. What are you doing here? And then starts to walk up to her, but when he's maybe 2 meters away from her, let's say 6 feet, something like that, 2 guys with hockey masks and fake chainsaws suddenly jump out of the bushes, and Danny starts to walk a bit back, and they start to chase him. So Danny turns around, starts running off, and then bumps into the guy that was first shaking the bushes, and Danny fell on the ground. And now they all fall, ha ha ha. But I'm going to leave it at that, because if you want to know what's going to happen next, watch the episode yourself. Dude, as a kid, obviously he would be scared. Well, even as an adult, if suddenly somebody jumps out of the bushes with a chainsaw, but you don't know, in the heat of the moment, you don't know if it's a real chainsaw or not. You see a chainsaw, you probably turn around and run away. It just instinct, logical instinct. There's danger, so you get the fuck away. Maybe some people say from, hey, if there's danger, let's fight it. Let's punch the person or somebody. But hey, if it's a real chainsaw, you can lose your arm by trying to punch. Or worse. It was a good story. The first story was definitely good. I enjoyed it. And it was definitely fitting for within the Twilight Zone. Or maybe even if it was a bit more, if you saw the action a bit more, it would have been maybe also a good one for a creep show, which we already did on the channel. Look through my playlists. The second story was rather okay. I don't really. Sure. And the third story was rather alright, but Jeffrey Jones, the guy who played in the first Beetlejuice, or also maybe know him from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think he played the principal. Maybe you know from that. But he was also with a very small role at the beginning of the third story. And then we had a different lead guy. Jesus. Overall, this episode was rather alright. The first story was definitely the best of the three, but maybe tomorrow's episode is maybe better. Who knows? We only know it by watching the episode. So tomorrow you're gonna get the 11th episode of the Twilight Zone. Later today you get... Oh no, wait. It's Tuesday. Yeah. Tomorrow you're gonna get the 11th episode. You get Midnight Run Around and Flashdance. Flashdance with on the chair and in the water. When she pulls a lever or something, or a chain. The water comes. That Flashdance. I'm curious how the movie is. And Thursday, I want to do Midnight Run for Your Life. But there's a chance that I can't watch it. So if I can't watch it, we're gonna watch Twilight Vamps. And hopefully the 12th episode of Twilight Zone. I'm gonna leave to that. I'm gonna make some dinner because it's basically 40 to 10. 39 to 10. And I'll see you guys next time. Leave likes, recommend the good, show down below in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, come join the Discord. See you guys next time. Bye.